Welcome to our Middle East briefing program. Today, we have some intriguing stories lined up for you. First, President Joe Biden has made a bold declaration, calling himself a Zionist while asserting that he has done more for the Palestinian community than anyone else. He also emphasized the need for more aid to reach Gaza and confirmed his commitment to the 2024 race despite recent concerns about his mental fitness. This interview comes on the heels of an attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump and Biden's first extensive comments on the Gaza war in weeks. Next, Russian cybersecurity firm Kaspersky Lab has announced it will gradually wind down its U.S. operations following a ban by the Department of Commerce. The ban was imposed over national security concerns that the Russian government could exploit Kaspersky's software to spy on Americans. Despite the company's denial of these claims, it will lay off its US-based employees while continuing to invest in other strategic markets. In another significant development, Israel and Egypt are reportedly in talks about the possibility of Israeli soldiers withdrawing from the Gaza border. This move could pave the way for a ceasefire deal with Hamas after more than 9 months of conflict in the Gaza Strip. These discussions are part of broader diplomatic efforts to achieve a truce and establish post-war governance in the region, with China poised to host meetings between rival Palestinian groups Hamas and Fatah next week. Please stay tuned for detailed coverage of these stories. CNN reported that President Joe Biden, in a recent interview with Complex Network's Speedy Mormon, declared himself a Zionist while also claiming to have done more for the Palestinian community than anyone else. Biden emphasized his commitment to facilitating aid to Gaza and described his efforts to open borders for essential supplies. Despite facing criticism over his mental fitness following a shaky debate performance, Biden reaffirmed his dedication to the 2024 race. He addressed the complexities of identifying as a Zionist and anticipated backlash from different factions, underlining his support for Israel as a safe haven for Jews. Biden also condemned Hamas, labeling them as thugs, and highlighted his role in humanitarian efforts for Palestinians. In another report by CNN, Russian cybersecurity firm Kaspersky Lab announced it would shut down its U.S. operations and lay off its American employees following a ban by the Department of Commerce. The ban, driven by national security concerns, prevents the sale and provision of Kaspersky's software in the U.S. This move ends nearly 2 decades of Kaspersky's presence in the country. The company, which has vehemently denied allegations of enabling Russian government surveillance, stated that the decision was difficult but necessary due to the new legal landscape. Kaspersky Lab, founded in Moscow in 1997, has been a major player in the cybersecurity industry, known for its top-tier research and analysis of global hacking operations. The New York Times revealed that Israel and Egypt are engaged in discussions about potentially withdrawing Israeli soldiers from the Gaza-Egypt border, a move that could pave the way for a ceasefire with Hamas. This development is part of broader diplomatic efforts to end over 9 months of conflict in Gaza and initiate post-war governance. China is set to host meetings with Hamas and Fatah to bridge gaps between the rival Palestinian factions. Meanwhile, Israel's national security advisor, Tsachi Hanegbi, is heading to Washington for talks at the White House. The negotiations face challenges, particularly over the duration of a ceasefire, with Hamas seeking a permanent truce while Israel prefers a temporary one. BBC, for over a decade, Abu Muhammad and his family have endured the harsh conditions of a tent in northern Syria, displaced by the civil war. Struggling to survive on less than $50 a month from the Turkish-backed opposition forces, he saw an opportunity in becoming a mercenary in Niger. Turkish recruiters offered $1,500 a month, a substantial increase that could support his family. Despite the risks, including potential death under Russian command, Abu Muhammad and others like Ali and Raid, who also see no other way to escape their dire circumstances, are willing to take the chance. Since December 2023, over 1,000 Syrian fighters have traveled to Niger, lured by promises of protecting Turkish interests, but often finding themselves in dangerous conflicts against jihadist groups. Australian Broadcasting Corporation, the Boomers gave the USA a major scare in their Olympic warm-up game in Abu Dhabi, nearly pulling off a comeback from a 24-point deficit. Led by Jock Landale's 20 points, Australia narrowed the gap to just 4 points in the final minutes before the US secured a 98-92 victory. US coach Steve Kerr praised Australia's physicality and fight. The depth of the US team, featuring NBA stars like Steph Curry and LeBron James, ultimately made the difference. The Boomers forced numerous turnovers in the second half, but the US's ability to land three-pointers and their overall depth proved too much. The Boomers will face Serbia in their final warm-up game. South China Morning Post, Mel C., famously known as Sporty Spice, has gone public with her new boyfriend, Australian model and film director Chris Dingwall. The couple was first spotted together at Glastonbury and then at Wimbledon, where they appeared inseparable. Dingwall, who is based in Sydney, enjoys a jet-setting lifestyle and has worked for major brands like the North Face. The pair's relationship reportedly blossomed during Mel C's recent tours in Australia. Mel C, who has had high-profile relationships in the past, shares a daughter named Scarlett Starr with ex-Thomas Starr. She has expressed pride in her daughter, who is forging her own path away from music and sports. .247 Sports has set the stage for Auburn's upcoming football season by placing the Tigers at number 10 in their preseason SEC poll. This ranking comes as SEC Media Days kick off, with predictions flooding in from all corners. Auburn, which finished last season with a 6-7 record and a 3-5 mark in the SEC, is projected to improve slightly from last year's number 11 spot. The Tigers will begin their quest for a better season on August 31 against Alabama A&M at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn's fans can stay updated on the latest news and opinions through various social media channels, including Twitter and Facebook. Demi Lovato has embraced a new, more tranquil lifestyle, dubbing it her Martha Stewart era. In a playful Instagram reel, the singer showcased her love for baking, using a pink whisk and sporting a carefree smile. Lovato's fiancé, Jordan Jutes Lutz, humorously commented on her post, further endearing her to fans who are delighted by her domestic turn. Lovato has been sharing her culinary adventures on TikTok, inviting fans to join her in the kitchen. This new phase reflects her evolved relationship with social media, where she no longer seeks validation but instead enjoys sharing her passions without the weight of negative comments. Former President Donald Trump has chosen Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate for the 2024 presidential race. Vance, who rose to fame with his memoir Hillbilly Elegy, has had a complex journey through politics, initially criticizing Trump before becoming a staunch supporter. Vance's background includes service in the Marines, a summa cum laude degree from Ohio State, and a law degree from Yale. He has worked in venture capital and written a best-selling memoir that many turn to for insights into America's white working class. Now, as a senator and Trump's vice presidential pick, Vance is poised to become a key figure in the MAGA movement. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.